dude, like, I mean, I still had my full-time job when we did wave one, and I was like, I don't know how popular this is going to be.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Collecting Brothers. John, this is Josh. We got a special episode for you guys today. We are talking to Jason Benvenue, the creator of Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. And I recently discovered this line, and Josh has kind of been it from the first Kickstarter. And we have a lot of corrections we got to make from our previous video. I'll be honest. I was watching that again, and a lot of things we got not quite right, but we want to clear some of those things up and get you guys all caught up on what is happening with this Kickstarter, because it's huge.
Yeah,
it is huge. But let's go ahead and welcome Jason.
Thanks for having me. I'm great. How about you guys?
We're doing great. Thank you for being here. This is an opportunity for us, especially for like Josh, who's been a fan since the first Kickstarter.
Yeah, this is exciting for me.
Man, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Talk to you, Jason. Yeah, it's awesome.
So, all right, let's go ahead and let's pull up what we're talking about today. All right. We are talking this AWOK, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Kickstarter here. Primal Series 2, and here's what we're getting here. This was the original solicitation, basically, different bucks that we're getting here: the brawlers, the speedsters, the females, and the reptilians, all was coming out. And initially, when we first talked about the show, we talked about this Kickstarter. You guys were sitting at 81,684. You're just under that goal. We were not worried at all.
Yeah, like we're gonna get the spectral pale, everything.
Yeah, everything's gonna unlock.
Right.
And as of I believe this is yesterday's number, you guys were at 221,922.
Nice.
So just amazing trend here for this Kickstarter to be going off, and you guys have been unlocking things and revealing new things that I've just adding value to what everyone should be doing. I think is the epic all-in. Now, we talked, Josh was going all in, and then we kind of talked like, if you only could pick two, what would your two favorites be? But as more things have been getting unlocked, the value of that epic all-in has just been increasing and increasing and increasing. It already was a great value to start with.
Right. It kind of starts off as like almost like, whenever we launched, the epic all-in essentially was, a really, you get obviously all the figures, all the weapons.
Yeah.
Then we unlock stuff, now you're getting like all this value added into it. And at a certain point, it was like, you get all these, and like we've got army builders built in, so you like your army builder stuff that you can slot into the stuff that's been locked. And then we've unlocked essentially all the stuff that we've showed off right out the gate except for raving. So the value just keeps adding and adding and adding. And it's one of those things that it's a great option too. If you've got like 2 or 3 friends in town, you can do that type of thing. Or if, you supported the first Kickstarter and you know what it's all about, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm totally down with this. I'm ready to like get everything and get all my goodies and save a ton of cash, Yeah.
And I think that's kind of why we've kind of been talking about it a lot, is that we see the quality in these figures, and Josh can attest to that.
Yeah, and I feel like we always talk about like just slowly kind of moving away kind of from like Hasbro and Mattel and even McFarlane Toys, and just going into like helping Kickstarters, because it's like you are a toy creator, but you're also just a toy collector in general. Like I've seen interviews with you.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And so you kind of know what we're about, like as a community. And so just backing Legions or even Defenders of Eden, AWOK, just
I've backed all of those. Yeah,
they're just so much funner because they have there's a community.
Thanks. Right. Yeah. There's that, like, we've got the built-in community, and, we aspire to have something similar to what the Four Horsemen has with the Mythic. They have Mythic Legions and Cosmic now. We would just absolutely love that. And I feel like we're on track, but we're brand new. We've only had stuff in store, in hand about a year.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're thinking, year 3 will be like really kind of rocking and rolling. And it's just really cool, exciting time. We've got the comic book in shops now.
I would even say like you're even like ahead of schedule, like just especially like with showing that you've already done female bodies. Like it took Legions a couple of years for us to even get a female mold. So you're already right. You're already steamrolling ahead.
Yeah, I will say that I'm definitely ambitious and kind of a madman, a mad scientist, so to speak. It was just, those characters are so important in the comic book, and I made the comic book 11 years ago. We rebooted it for the last Kickstarter, but like all these characters have been kind of, wait to be in action figure form. So it just felt like it was the right time, and it's happening now. We're getting some awesome female action figures. The additional head packs for those got unlocked, and that's another thing that's a little bit different from the last Kickstarter is we did headsets that were separate from the figures. Now we're doing them where they're just packed in with the figure itself.
Yeah.
So there's no extra like purchase that you have to do for that.
Which is insane.
It's
insane.
it's a better way to do
there's
that.
Adam.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah, everyone. He's saying that he's muted, I think.
Let's
Or
check
maybe he
here.
can't hear. The connect. It says it's
Let me
connecting audio.
Stop here. Adam, can you hear us? There we go.
Oh yeah, he's good now.
There we
all
go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can
Perfect.
hear you.
Well, welcome, Adam. Thank you for being here. Me and Jason, or us and Jason, have already kind of been started here, just talking about the success of the previous Kickstarter, the quality of these figures, which we love, and honestly, Jason was kind of segueing into what I want to talk about here because I recently just picked this up. It was the comic book. I went down to my local Black Cat Comics and picked up the first issue here. I got the variant cover, which was, the Gorillas homage, which was nice.
Yeah, that one's sick.
And Jason, I mean, initially, because of the aesthetic of the figures, I was kind of like swords and sandals, not really my thing. But reading the story, it is so much more my type of story. Like, because I'm more sci-fi heavy. I like monsters, kaijus, Star Wars and all that stuff. And reading this story was, one, very well written. The reveal that happens in page 10, amazing, and which gives more credit to what's happening in this way. Like, it gave me more understanding of why we have a Kali Prime.
Right. Oh, so I'm so glad you guys read the book because we kind of joke around when people are like, well, why are these new characters wearing like almost modern looking pants and they've got
guns versus swords,
modern looking firearms, right? Exactly, and it's like just read the comic, you'll figure it out.
It clears everything up, any questions you have, and like even reading just issue 1, I can see where the trajectory is going, and potentially what's the figures that we're going to be getting because we'll talk about more there. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, it was so important for me to as far as like writing the story and building the world, I needed to really kind of think about how I could just have the freedom to just throw stuff against, just to kind of like pull stuff out of my magic hat and be like, oh, you know what? We set this up, so now we've got like this chimera of like a dinosaur and a gorilla at some point. I'm just making that up like off the top of my head, but we can do it because of the way we set up the sandbox, so yeah. It's just, I felt it was important to like do that groundwork, make sure that there was a compelling, fun comic book to read that got, action figures and comic and geek culture invested in the brand.
Yeah, no, and you've done it, I think, the right way to build that lore out, get the figures out. And I know a lot of these shows people have kind of been saying, when's the cartoon show coming? But it lends itself to that.
We're ready. That's like the third part or the third phase, whenever I guess a creative thinks big picture, they're like, I want to do a comic that has toys to support the comic and then a cartoon to support the toys, and then they're all circularly promoting each other. So, we would just absolutely love that. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Yeah. Hoping for the best on that for sure. All right. But yeah, shout out on your current backer amount. Really, really exciting there. But with the more reveals that we've been getting, we've also getting some confirmations of certain things here. Once the heads were unlocked, the additional heads for the reptilians, they are confirmed that they will be packed inside of the figure. So it's not like a head pack like we were initially thinking. It is going to be within that figure.
Yes, it'll be included in the figure.
And they will come with articulated jaws, right? We were thinking initially only Gresh would come with an articulated jaw because of the tongue effect, but all
the reptiles have opening and closing mouths.
Yeah. Crazy nice.
Mouths eyes. And mouses.
But yeah, so $33 though for that value. You get an extra hands, a secondary head with articulation in that jaw. I mean, the value alone right there for one figure, I don't know. It's there.
That's our Kickstarter price.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, if you're interested in that price point, friends,
got it back now.
Got it back now.
Save the money.
Exactly. Get the Epic all in. You'll save more money.
You'll save so much money.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, it really is. The value is there. The price points are there. But Gresh comes with an alternate snakehead. Now, I did also hear that this will come with a venom shooting effect.
Right. He has a venom, and So if you're looking at this image, there's a little chain whip that he's got. So that chain unplugs and can plug into Gresh's mouth or the snake's mouth. But the snake has an alternate venom spitting effect that you can plug into that one's mouth as well. You can plug in Gresh's if you want to, of course, but that will be his little extra kind of mouth gimmick, so to speak.
So two heads, hands, weapons, effects. I mean, you can't ask for more, man.
It's packed in, man. It's a great value. All that armor is removable. So if you want to have just a little naked lizard running around, you can
true. Gresh does actually everything removes off of him. So So that is
especially because he doesn't have the chest piece. Usually the chest piece is like the thing that's solid. Yeah.
And so this was your guys' first unlock at day 8. We were gonna hit that no matter what. The heavy infantry soldier here, articulated jaw, second helmeted head, which is amazing.
Which is sick. Yeah, honestly, that one's better than the first one actually.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping, it'll be fun to see which heads wind up being the most popular that people display the figures with. And I mean, this being an army builder, I can see a lot of people, having maybe 4 or 5 of them and mixing and matching those heads.
This is like going to be the Chunari Legionnaire Part 2 kind of thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that. Most of the armor on this guy comes off. Look at the little bands on the biceps. So those bicep bands are sculpted on. You could pull those pauldrons off if you would like.
Okay.
But there will be like a little hole where the pauldrons plug in. So you can take a lot of parts off of there if you want, but you won't be able to get the complete like nude lizard as you would with Gresh.
I just love the alternate head. Like it just makes it look like a brute. Like it makes it look bigger, bigger than it should be.
Yeah, we were looking at the other designs, and I basically kind of chopped up this lizard head and photoshopped, and I was like, I really wanted to have an underbite, like all the other lizards have like a sort of standard. And I was like, something about having that underbite gives it like a real kind of brutish army builder fodder feel,
Yeah, and something when we first saw this, I was like, the reason why I like love this so much is because like it reminds me a lot of like the Urukai from Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, I love the Lord of the Rings so much. It's just it's one of those things where it's like we gotta have a little bit of a little love letter to I want to say Tolkien, but it's like, is it really Tolkien?
Right, or was it Weta?
It's Weta. So you gotta give that Weta love, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and no, that's actually one of our main questions was, is this an Urukai inspired figure? Because that's the vibes we got from it for sure.
Not really. I mean, it's one of those things where as a creative, you've got all these different influences that kind of like bleed into your stuff, and our job as like a creative is to take the stuff that we love, kind of make an amalgamation of all these different influences and create something new for people to enjoy in a different way.
For sure. All right, let's keep going here. So that's everything that was going to be coming part of these cold-blooded, right? You get all those heads, and I really love these pictures that you showed off here, showing off that army building capability here.
This is like, I'm kind of laughing because I poorly photoshopped those snake heads onto there, but you get the idea.
Yeah. No, it's there. I mean, I feel
you can see the potential. Like it makes people want to buy at least 2 of each.
Right, you can visualize it. Yeah.
No, it looks great. So, all right, but let's keep going over to the brawlers here. We have King Hannibal, also as well, comes with alternate heads, extra hands, all packed in there, and then we have Kali Prime. And based off of the story, man, I understand this now. We were having questions because, like, show him your original Kali was just this little guy, just a regular guy, and now he's all juiced out here.
Adam knows what's up.
So Kali Prime is in the comic book. He's just not in the comic book yet. So,
okay.
But it builds up, to Kali Prime in issue 5. So stay tuned because it's too bad issue 5 couldn't have come out before, because I think Kali Prime would be like a must-have. For people.
I know. It's an essential character for the everyone that has read the comic book, which is a very small circle. It's probably like
10 people.
Yeah, it's literally people, right?
Sell it out.
Yeah, the thing is we want to really promote the physical media of the comics before we show issue 5. It just so happened that all 4 of the first ones were out because it was associated with the first Kickstarter. Right. This issue was not associated with that Kickstarter, so we kind of held back, and hopefully it'll translate to people supporting the physical comics. I know issue 1 is sold out, which is a good indicator.
Yeah.
So kind of moving forward, we'll do a comic or a trade paperback once issue 5 is. I don't remember what the standard like follow-up time is. I'm guessing it's like maybe 2 months, and then you offer the trade.
Okay. Yeah, that trade would be nice. I'm kind of excited now for that trade paper.
Yeah.
I got the PDFs,
like both.
and
It's
then I got the
interesting.
physicals, and then I'm getting the reprints of the physicals just because they're like updated, and then I'm gonna get the trade, and it's like, yeah, exactly.
Adam's gonna get the
You gotta
hardback.
get multiple.
The omnibus, yeah.
Right? There's something that's
Nice.
so charming about, like, I really like to have the trade, so it makes it easier to read the story arc,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But there's something that's to be said about the floppy singles. I really like to have those. I used like several Mike Mignola books, just the single issues as like my how to make comic books cookbook, so to speak, you know? So,
Yeah.
and I still have them. I have them on my staircase as I'm like walking up to my office, which it's summertime, so I'll be doing less and less. I'm in the dining room right now because as it starts to get hot down in Louisiana, I tend to stay a little bit downstairs more frequently. So, but yeah, anytime I walk upstairs, I see that there's a Mike Mignola issue. It's a Hellboy issue. I see it every time. I'm like, and I'm just kind of like saluting it, you know, in my mind. I'm like, thank you, Mike.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I have not bought. I usually buy trade paperbacks or like hardbacks of the comic books that I read, and this is the first single issue that I've bought since I was like probably 18, and I'm in my 30s right now. So it was
That cover's
kind
too
of,
good though.
It is so good.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
he loves the gorillas, yeah.
That's our T-shirt. We usually wear that T-shirt. I think we wore it twice this weekend, right? Or last weekend. We're rocking it out.
We did, yeah. And last time, yeah. Usually we wear it twice over a weekend.
Yeah.
because that graphics just
It
so
seems
good.
to really draw people in. And what's
Yeah.
funny is we've been giving away the Thane hammer accessory at conventions,
Yeah, I seen that, yeah.
and we've got a life-size cosplay that Simple Tricks and Nonsense was nice enough to do for us, and it's one of those things that people like to come up to the booth and take photos with. And at Toylanta, I thought, you know what, I think the hotel was in stories, so like I just went and like hid hammers like on every single floor so that people would be like, what is this? And the idea was we were like right in the center where everyone would see us. The idea was like we'd be holding up the hammer and people would be like, oh, that's what that is, and they'd come to the booth.
Right.
But the hammer never showed up. It didn't show up during the convention, but we had such good placement that it worked out. People were like,
That's so cool.
they saw it, walked right to the booth. So
Yeah.
next
And
show, hopefully we'll have that hammer to do that little Easter egg hunt, so to speak.
Nice.
And shout out to Simple Tricks and Nonsense. They did a Emil Caspar cosplay recently.
Oh man, they're
that was
so
just
great. I love
so
them.
good.
They're awesome.
Yeah, they're
They're
great.
so great.
All right, but we also unlocked Grimes, also come with alternate hands, extra hands, and this is kind of where I got excited when I initially saw this Kickstarter. Just loving the pants, the bulldog.
Right? Why is he wearing pants, Adam? I don't understand.
I love it.
So many comments. People were like, but why does he have a gun and pants? This
Right.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to be sword and sorcery? Like,
They're
what's
sword
going
and
on
sorcery,
here?
man.
And
Where's the
nowadays-
books?
Yeah, it's
Art-
such like they should know. Kali and Wave 1 had gun too.
I know,
right?
Wave 1.
Yeah.
It's like it's nothing new.
Our inside joke is
Yeah.
like, tell me you haven't read the comic book without telling me you haven't read the comic
Yeah,
book.
that's true. So
But yeah, these,
his
yeah.
little shotgun holder, shell holder on that arm's removable. That vest is removable. So if you want a bare-chested Grimes, you can do that.
That's cool.
Just pop the head off and
Yeah.
pop
And
the
I think-
hand off. You can get off.
That's
Or alternatively, if you want to have like a bulked out modern lion, grab two
Oh,
of each
yeah.
and start swapping some parts.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, there's so many possibilities. That's the beauty of just the interchangeability with this line. Yeah.
Yep.
So great. It is so great. All right, and then we're also getting some alternate heads. We should be getting those here soon revealed. Mother Mala, very, very important character coming in. Again, second Kickstarter. This is the second series, and we're already getting those female figures. So shout out to Jason and the Spiro team here for getting those female body molds out there, because then that opens it up for way more characters, right?
Just a bunch of different characters, exactly. And she's got some really fun accessories right out the gate. That ice and flame effect.
So good, yeah.
Removable on those weapons. So if for some reason you don't want to have that ice effect on her shield, you can just pop that right off and it'll slide off. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
I see that now.
Yeah.
I see that.
So
Yeah.
it's a whole separate effect piece that you can put on.
Mhm.
Can you tell that I was collecting the lightning collection when we were working on this? I packed those things in and I was like,
The
those are
fire
cool.
effect,
I want to do that. It's funny, we kind of joke around and jokingly, lovingly like beat up on the big companies, but they do such great stuff. And our sculptors work, they do amazing work for Hasbro
and that's the start of a lot of people's collecting journey, right? It's like people have to start somewhere, and it's fine that you collect Hasbro or Marvel Legends or whatever it is, because then that gets you into the community.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you can't resist the X-Men. Yeah.
I mean, it would be hard for people, I think, to even sort of come across things like Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. True. If it wasn't by way of Marvel Legends or the DC universe or
Black Series,
like Masterverse even, right? Like
exactly.
So you do have to sort of give credit where credit is due. That this market would not exist if the big guys weren't still doing it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we do it better.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%. All right, but here's Lady Jadu.
This is Lady Jadu is our
Kali's, second in command.
Say she's like our Baroness. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, Baroness is a good comparison. But we joke around saying that if people supported these indie lines like they support the big boys, we would become the big boys. So it's just kind of something to strive to.
Yeah, and it's like they are always thinking about the bottom, like they just want to make money, right? Where you guys just want to make the next wave. You guys just want to have enough funds to make packing in extra heads. Like that's something like the big boys would never do. That's why I'm all about Kickstarters. Yeah.
The thing is, they're obviously in way a different headspace than we are. Whenever they started off, I'm sure that their focus was build a loyal audience with just fantastic products that have all this stuff, all these bells and whistles added in. And then, just the way like the growth model works is I find that like after a particular point, like you plateau and there's only so much you can do. So it's like they start kind of trying to like squeeze blood from a stone and it's not the creative bit. It's like, I see it as like the accounting corporate end that's like really pressuring these creatives who want to just like put all the bells and whistles on all this awesome stuff, and they're constrained because of they're not making they're not making the calls at the end of the day. So we do have that luxury where we can pack in all this extra stuff and really give the customers what we feel is a great value, and hopefully get loyal customers that will be willing to try our samurai line and our other stuff.
We see that.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're all in for that too.
Right. Yeah. So we're hoping, by year 5, we've got, Animal Warriors and all these other IPs that are, that we feel passionate about, and that collectors could easily collect on their own or can easily put it into existing stuff that they already have.
Yeah, that's true. And that's actually one of the appeals of the Bushido line, which is the Samurai line that Spiro Toys is going to be launching here.
Right.
And is that cross compatibility with getting it
exactly.
into
Dude, I can't wait to I'm going to be putting them with all my G.I. Joe Ninja.
Put it with your hand for Marvel Legends. Yeah.
Exactly. Man, I army built the red ones, and then I got a black one, and I was like, is this enough? And I'm like, it's never enough.
Yeah, that's all I have with the clothes. Yeah.
All right. Next up here, another unlock. We're getting Jess, and she's an homage, or she was inspired by your grandma, I believe, Jason.
Yeah. So my grandmother was named Jessie, and so I wanted to do an homage for her. So her name's Jess, and she comes with the alternate head. This is a great army builder. It's the first female army builder for the line, and Dan just knocked it out of the park. I love the little pistols that she comes with, and she comes with a sword as well. So I want to talk to Dan about maybe doing some holsters or something. That way, if she's not dual wielding them, there's a way to store them.
Yeah, nice.
So we'll figure that out once we actually kind of wrap up the Kickstarter. We'll do a couple of little tweaks and stuff. But this is essentially what she's going to look like.
Cool. All right, but that's been unlocked, and then the rogue heads are going to be unlocked here.
Yeah, they're currently being sculpted. I've seen great renders of them. They look friggin' awesome. We skipped over Kanji.
Sorry. Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, so we've got the Dan and I were looking over stuff. Well, Arlen too. We're all three of us were looking over them. I made some minor notes on Jadu's helmet, but I mean, they just kicked butt. They look amazing. Hopefully we can show off both those and the brawlers at the end of the week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go into the speedsters. The smaller bodies are smaller than the pale buck, just a little more agile. Right here, we have this beautiful rabbit with articulated ears. We did not talk about that last time. So the ears are articulated.
So we forgot to mention that both Gresh and Kanji have elements on the heads that have a 360 movement. So for Kanji, he'll have the 360 ball jointed ears, and Gresh will have the 360 ball jointed eyeballs.
Yeah, which perfect. So perfect, right? And yeah, Kanji really speaks to me. Just this vibe, this like I want like forest elf, like, you know, Lorien. The paintwork here too. We were shouting that out, man. The paint applications on the quiver and the bow, just the browns, the different hues of browns.
Yeah, it makes it look like real leather. Like my quiver looks like it's like leather.
So amazing.
That's so. This being our second well, it's not really our second production. We've done several productions, but the first production or the first Kickstarter did any kind of dry brushing or anything like that. But you know, we know that the factory can do it, and I wanted to start incorporating a little bit more dry brushing. And we did use it sparingly, but I feel like when we do use it, it makes it feel a little bit more special. So you can see like the quiver and the bow have that dry 100%. Brushing.
Okay.
There's some we kind of saved it for the accessories, but there are a couple of figures here and there that have a little bit of dry brushing.
That's so cool. And you can tell, man, because that really does stand out. It just makes everything look so much better, the dry brushing. All right, next.
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, it really is. We have Boone
I'm
here.
I'm so excited about this figure.
This was my favorite of the line. It was a tie between Gresh and Boone, but Boone kind of wanted me out just because of those pants, the roll-out arm.
Yeah, as soon as I finished, we did Grimes first, and then I did Boone. And like when I say as soon as I finished painting him and I like put them together, I was like, one shot. Like these two need like a one-shot issue, an origin issue, you know, or like just a standalone adventure that's like not connected to the main story.
Yeah,
I just think it would be really, really fun. I don't know when we're gonna do it. It'd probably be like after the next story arc wraps.
Probably one of my favorite things of this figure is that modified decked out AK that he has. Like with all the attachments, funny? So good. Yeah, and he's got like the two magazines.
The banana clips. The
makeshift silencer on the barrel is hilarious.
Yeah. And I think honestly too, like when we were looking at these, like I agree with you. When I immediately saw him and Grimes, like my mind just started making up stories.
Like have him on the back riding him like do.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's so funny. Like I feel like they've got like real Han and Chewie vibes, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's also like for me, especially like when an action figure that I have no attachment to can do that, help me like create my own stories and tell a story. Like I just fall in love with that. You know, it's like when you hear a song and you can like picture a scene of a movie that it would go fit perfectly well with. It's that kind of like vibe. And so Boone and Grimes, man, just really did it for me, and I love them. But yeah,
thank you.
Boone will have on the back of his jacket that he will have that Pirate Guild sigil up in the corner there. Yeah, that'll be on the back of his jacket. It's just we've only shown him from the front, so you can't necessarily see that, but.
And Grimes has it on his armor, right?
Yeah, he's got it on the chest.
Right there, yeah.
So that's really cool. Get some paint apps there on the back of that vest. Yeah.
The mercenary actually has the reptile house. He's actually got that on his shoulder as well.
Yeah, it's hard to see it in that photo. You might be able to see.
Oh, you can see the little white. Yeah,
there it is. Yeah.
So
people at conventions are able to. We've been showing them off.
Right.
It's just a fun little accent that kind of brings the characters to life.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love that.
The world building. Yeah, the world building.
All right, but then we recently just unlocked the Horde Assassin, and reading the comic book of these guys, I love the broken English or whatever type of English they speak, but it's almost like that meat got fresh meat. Like it's
Right,
just
yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, they're just kind of goofy, like just like I don't know. They're very fun to write. That's one of the things is I love writing dialogue,
Yeah.
and it's so funny. I mean, I obviously have a Cajun accent, and I try to repress it. But whenever we go to like different areas of the country, I'll notice that like I'll start picking up their accent, and I'm like, I'm not mocking you. Like I can't help it. Like I'm picking up your accent, you know. So I feel like if I was in Boston for like more than like 4 days, I'd be just done for like a month.
You'd be talking out the side of your mouth.
Yeah. Oh man, I'd be like, I can't purge this accent, you know.
I do actually do the same thing, and I've gotten in trouble before because they took it like I was, impersonating. When I wasn't.
I just tell them, I'm
practicing.
I'm like, it's not mocking. Like it's.
Yeah.
This is your fault, you know. Like your accent's too appealing. It's sinking in, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, this Horde Assassin alternate heads again, man. These figures, every single one of these is coming with heads, hands, accessories.
He's got his alternate head is a dreadlock head.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit more obviously bad. The other one looks a little bit more mischievous, but it's an army builder, so they're kind of meant to be in pairs and. I personally will probably have like 3 or 4 of them. What the heck? We might have 5 of them. You do what you feel comfortable with, but
well, yeah, that's like the beauty of like them having the same color scheme, because then if you have like the Horde Ravager, you can mix and match and create a bunch of different characters with them.
And what's cool is like that head, you could pop it on Blight if you want, So,
exactly, because Blight's the same color scheme.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about what we still needs to get unlocked here. We're talking about the assassin heads, which I'm assuming you guys will show off later on when they're ready, of course. But this is one that was teased in the original Kickstarter.
There he is.
We get in raving here at 260,000. So we're close. We're coming up on it. And I was actually really excited about this. And to see the bird, the wings work, because I was kind of asking myself, like, how are the wings going to work within this line? Right. But I love that they come off of that forearm there, and then still,
get like a
presence.
If you have the classic Falcon Marvel Legends figure or the Power Ranger bird, I can't remember what the
Tengu Warriors.
It's very similar to that, but Dan's been kind of showing it blocked out. There's a lot of details, but just the silhouette looks so cool. I'm just like, man, this is gonna be so awesome, and it'll be fun to see this get unlocked. I think we're entering the last 2 weeks of the Kickstarter, which is that little middle section is a little bit of a marathon and slow going, but as we get closer and closer to the end, we're going to see stuff get lost. People that are like watching will start actually putting their pledges in. It'll be really exciting. And then Adam and I will sleep for 3 days after.
I know. Usually that last like day, it like goes up like 100K probably. It'll go up 100K
right?
probably.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why everybody waits. Like I always tell people, just back it now. Why are you waiting for it?
Yeah,
it's so hard to sort of convince people that like there's no benefit to waiting to the last day.
You don't even
like,
get charged.
No, that's just and the more people that sort of back now, the closer we get, to Mob, and then the more people are kind of like convinced to go epic all in, and then that money kind of like snowballs.
Exactly.
And then we can hit the elephant, and Jason and I can get to sleep a day earlier than we kind of expect. Like
there's
a Mamba.
But we joke because it's sort of like if there was nobody backing this, we'd have anxiety, and but there is people backing it. But like every backer, like there's anxiety. Like, will it unlock? There's no scenario when you're doing a Kickstarter that you're not anxious for the whole time the Kickstarter's running. Like,
oh man,
because there's they never go perfectly, and they never like. There's always little things that like, oh, we didn't think of that, or we should do this, or whatever. You just constantly, it's just constant text messages back and forth and updating on the Kickstarter, and sharing images and like, should we add this? What are we going to do about this? Is this going to be a figure in a following wave, or should we sort of sneak this in somewhere? And so, but it's a ton of fun. But yeah,
it really is. It's an adrenaline rush.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a lot of that's you don't realize that you're getting tired because it's this like really hype train that you're on for a month and some change, and you realize like the last day you're like, woohoo, I am tired.
Yeah, for real. All right, but with this bird, this isn't the only one. We are also getting Merrill, the Bard. So this is a cardinal, and it comes with a lute that can transform or open up to a bow and arrow, and he comes with this little,
That's
wine
fun.
pouch there. Yeah, this is so much fun. And for me, like when I initially saw this, I was like, if you guys do a raccoon, or if you repaint Boone, you got a Mordecai and Rigby from.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah, we do
sick.
what's it called? A blue jay? Yeah. A blue jay and the raccoon. That sounds like it'd be a fun convention 2-pack.
That would be
Like
that
a
would
tribute, that'd be nice.
Yeah, but yeah, 290,000 for this one. And man, the color scheme, Jason, your color work, your eye for color and the color wheel and just matching color theory, I guess, is so on point, man.
Yeah,
all of these
for sure.
figures just amazing. Like red works so well with that green. I love it.
You know, I love that. I mean, it makes me feel so good because, I mean, if you look at it, like, why is there like that lime green with this red character? And like, it does it on paper, does it, but it's good. Like when you look at it, you're like, okay, that looks good.
Yeah.
And it's one of the takeaways from Masters of the Universe was whenever they made, I can't remember what the character is, but I think the main colors on the character was orange and then it had some pink on it. And I was like, they managed to make a character with orange and pink work. So like, I've got no excuses. I've got to figure out how to make wild color. Like, there you go.
Yeah, there's snout spout.
Yeah, that's him right there. It's snout
He's got
spout. I
pink
knew it
gloves,
was
and
there.
it doesn't make sense, but it works.
But it does. It's like, it's so fun. Like you've got, like the fundamentals of color theory, and you obviously need to understand them. And then once you understand them, then you can kind of fudge and break them a little bit. And so that's kind of one of the challenges that I like to take on personally. This character obviously has several colors going for it, but like if you look at Kanji, he's essentially almost all green. And that was a little bit of a personal challenge for me. I thought, let's take something just one color and make it look compelling by making it different shades and different values of green.
Yeah, that's what Kanji is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's going to be really fun seeing characters like this that are really bright in action figure form.
Oh yeah. And I'm a elementary school teacher, and that's actually something I tell my students when I'm teaching English, and they go like, why do I have to learn this? I already know how to speak it. I was like, because once you know the rules of English, then you can start breaking, right? You can start making your own sentences. God. Yeah. So
did you see there's a reel where this guy's got the word empty on it, and he keeps saying empty, and he keeps erasing stuff. It's so funny, and I'm like, yes. Like, I'm literally dyslexic, so like I look at the English language and I'm like, why is this so confusing?
Yep.
We joke around because like in our area, it's a bunch of restaurants that are French and Spanish, and we'll look at it. Like a little girl will ask what that is, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm dyslexic because I have like French and Spanish ancestry, and it's just like built into the DNA.
Yeah. Got that code switching.
Why can't our language be like similar to that,
Right, yeah, more phonetic.
Exactly.
All right, but there's Meryl, man. Super, super cool. I'm excited for this Cardinal. Next up, though, we are getting Scathing the Necromancer. And this is cool, man. The hood, the swords, just the vibe of this character, him being a necromancer. And I believe he's a vulture, correct?
He is a vulture, yeah.
Yeah. So
I've been wanting to do that bone whip for so long, and it's so nice to finally get it snuck into a character. I saw, I think it's a fake thing. It's not practical to have a bone whip, but I saw it on the internet and I was like, oh, I'm making a note of this. But there was no character that it would make sense with. I'm like, oh, it makes sense with this guy.
Yeah.
So he's got the bone whip, and then he also has his little necro staff to bring creatures, unnatural incarnations to life and such.
Yeah. And so this is another buck, right? With these three birds here, you guys are producing another, fully articulated body, more molds being cut for these. So just adding, again, value to this Kickstarter here for that all-in price. And I'll say this again, go epic all in. As these things get unlocked, and they will,
do it.
You're going to be getting...
Do it now.
I just love the decision to make it like half a wing, because then it articulates. It's gonna articulate way better than if it was fully winged.
It was a full wing, like, and it's also like because of the story, they're taking on characteristics of animals, so it's not like they're turning into an animal.
Right?
Like, it's like still half and half. But no, this is great here. But again, you're gonna get a weapon set and heads with these figures, so it's like a full another wave. I would consider it here. This is the bird wave.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
And this is funny. You know, I just talked about being dyslexic, and Dan was like, you know, you did avian instead of avian, and I was like, oh, I did not know that. So this will be corrected. It should be avian instead of avian.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, I thought it was an A to begin with, just because the symbol.
Yeah, but so that's the fourth body mold here that we're getting, right? We're getting the reptiles, the brawlers, the females, and now speedsters and birds.
So it's 5.
So we're at 5.
That's insane.
5 different body molds.
Like so little reuse. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Number 5 is alive. I'm really excited about this character.
This was it.
Look, he picked it up. He got the reference. Yeah. So this character is he's an Easter egg. In which issue is it, Adam? That he's
in the first one.
Yeah, he's in the first one at the very end.
Yeah, he's part of the.
It's cool to finally show him off.
The Bovinians or Bovidians.
Bovidius
clan. Yeah. So there's going to be more of these, cow characters, man. Bovines, man. I'm excited. So Brutox. Yeah, I believe it's Pale, or I can't remember who talks to him, but they go inside and find more help before to kind of go against Kali, and he goes to this tribe. And so to get a little taste of that figure and potentially the other characters within this realm, right? Army builders, soldiers, infantry. And this looks great, man. 380,000. I'm excited for this cheap Brutox.
I really want this figure. The weapons are done. I need to color them. This will be utilizing the brawler buck. So just, it just shows that we've got, we're going to get a bunch of use out of all these different body types.
Yeah.
So this, like, we can use all these different bodies in the future.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We have like Thane now, like the middle Brutus,
the brawlers,
the
brawlers.
Little one, yeah.
No, and that's something that people always say on the shows you guys been doing, the world tour you guys been going on. What about this animal? What about this animal? Just chill. We're making the most.
Right. Yeah.
It's like the smart, sort of financially sound version of this Kickstarter would have seen like a 4th reptile, a 4th brawler, a 4th. But Jason was like, nah, let's just make more body types. Let's make more species. Let's just keep expanding. And I mean, the thing that people sort of touch on, but I don't think people quite appreciate is that really this is just such an expeditious way to get all these body types into the library. And then when people are like, well, what about this species? It's sort of like, well, okay, we have all these body types. Which body type would you put it on?
Exactly.
Right.
And we're really just creating the possibility to say yes to every one of those people.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. And to finish out the wheels here for Josh, he's new. We are getting General Mamba and Big Boy. Let's do a size comparison for Josh here. So that's what we're looking at, Josh. You have a Thane. We are getting rhinos as well,
which is another scale. Oh my gosh, Jason, you guys are crazy.
And then Mamba at that giant size. And
oh my God.
Kind of a running theme right now, I think, kind of Brick. I'm not sure where it started. I heard it from Brick, but they were saying no sleep till Mamba. It's just kind of the reference that they were making. So
someone inserted it into the Beastie Boys. It was so funny. I think they had, like, when they opened the safe, there was Mamba in the safe.
So that was
me. Oh my God, that was awesome. We shared it. I shared it in an Instagram story. That was awesome. I loved it.
It was perfect too, because like watching the video, they opened up a safe and I was like, oh, easy. Here we go. But so awesome. Here's everything that we're getting, man. If we can even count the bucks right off of this page here, we're getting the speedsters, females, birds, Pale, of course, we already have. We're getting the brawlers, thing we already got, but rhino size, and then also that giant.
Thane is already so massive.
Yeah. And so to get,
I mean, we all have a Thane figure, and we know how heavy that is. So.
It's a brick.
You see how these guys, right? Yeah.
So stack like 3 Thanes and then just lift that up, and that's probably about what you're looking at for Mamba.
Like a 5-pound figure, you just gonna like. Ugh.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane here. And
that's like one of the things I appreciate with these figures is like I feel like the plastic is not hollow, which makes them heavy. Like they're not. They're not solid.
a lot of comments that we get is you can feel the quality when you pick it up.
For sure.
And that goes for the standard figure, the Thane figure, and then
Right.
you know, that's obviously all going to carry over to these new figures as well.
Yeah.
Like it'll fall off the shelf and it won't break, you know?
Right.
It's
Oh,
solid.
it'll like break the floor. There'll be
I was
like
gonna
this,
say,
like,
yeah.
Thane would break the floor, yeah.
Yeah, put a carpet
Almost.
down because it'll crack your tile floor.
So that's everything that you guys have kind of been revealed, and so many goodness here. Like, it is just incredible the amount of value that we're getting here. Again, I'll reiterate, this is the third time I'm saying this. Epic all in. I mean, when we get to Mamba, you're gonna be like switching over to the Epic all in.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
So
Exactly.
just do it now, and then
Come
you don't have
on.
to do any switch.
Do it now. It's here.
Come on, what are you waiting for? Kill me, I'm here. Jason,
No
me and you,
joke.
we gotta have like a voiceover.
Dude, I have like on my phone, I've got like my go-to movies.
Uh-huh.
And it's like Aliens, Predator, The Thing. I think what else. But those two I tend to watch quite a lot, like especially on flights. I could just watch it and I know exactly what's happening. So if I doze off, it's not like I'm missing anything.
Yeah. Just
And then
a
I usually put like a couple of things that are new. So, but, yeah. Oh,
No.
the original Terminator, stuff like
oh,
that.
nice. I'm more of a T2 guy. Sorry.
You know what? I love both of them, but there's something that, man, I don't know. It like the first one like really speaks to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, like honestly, I watched T2 first, and then I watched Terminator. And
Oh yeah,
at
me
that
too.
point,
Totally.
I had
Yeah.
already fell in love with Arnie because my dad like watched all those movies with us, and so like I always
Yeah.
saw him as like a good guy. And so when I
Oh
watched
yeah, you're right.
T1, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's bad.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Man, I remember that there was like a sci-fi marathon where it was just a bunch of Schwarzenegger movies, and I love pretty much everything that he's done. Yeah.
Arnie's an homie for sure. But yeah, well, that's everything here. Josh, how you feeling on this?
Honestly, I can't believe it, and I'm so excited. Like, just because when you get all the figures, to have them on the shelf and to have that variety, so it's not so static, it's just gonna look
Right.
amazing on your
Yeah.
shelf. Like,
Yeah.
just to have that different body molds.
Yeah, so
And
many.
It'll create a scenario when, you know, right now we're offering waves of, you know, essentially two different body types.
Yeah.
And going forward, you know, you might have, you know, 3 different body
That's
types
true.
in one wave, which is really exciting.
Yeah. That would be.
There's
kinda
sort of like a catch-22 to doing like an animal line, in that, you know, if you have, you know, a line where all of your characters are essentially human, right?
Right.
Scale wise, humans by and large are within a few inches of each other.
Right.
Well, elephants and rabbits aren't in scale with each other, so you can't
Yeah,
just
exactly.
you can't just get away with doing them all on one body
Yeah.
type.
it look weird.
So
Yeah.
it's so it's sort of like we you know, people say, well, why did you have to do a Kickstarter? And sort of like, well, because we want to do more species, and so to do that we have to do all these body types.
Yeah.
We couldn't have gotten away, you know, even you just look at that scaled image, right? And it's like, you know, which 2 of those could you realistically have put on the same buck? And they wouldn't work, right? You couldn't really get away with doing any of those 2 on the same buck.
Could do the females and the speedsters, but then it just looks weird, right? You're either adding extra
Right.
armor pieces to like hide different things.
And plus, they use different torso pieces.
Yeah.
So
and the
you're
blades are-
already exactly. So it's kind of a no-brainer to do it this way, and to sort of get as many bucks and as many body types in the Kickstarter as we can, just to get that much further along, just as far as, you know, the library goes. Like I said, it's I keep thinking of it too as like Lego pieces, right? Like if you just have, you know, 4x2 Lego bricks, you've got tens of thousands, I think like hundreds of thousands of combinations if you have 6 4x2 Lego bricks.
Yeah.
But if you start adding other elements, forget it. It's like
exponentially.
You know, the
Exponential, yeah.
possibilities are virtually limitless, and that's what we're going for. So
All right. Well, we are hoping for the best on this. I'm not worried about it, honestly.
First one hit 330. We're gonna get over 300. Yeah.
We're gonna be just fine. It's just getting there and getting people to get that epic all in, understanding what they're having here, and that's kind of what we're doing here today for everybody. Again, this is so exciting to be part of this as well. That's something Josh was kind of commenting, is that with Kickstarters, you kind of get to be part of this journey that not only Jason and everyone at Spiro Toys is going on, but as a community, we get to see these figures and get to, you know, pretend how to play with them when we don't even have them yet.
Or also just like
Right.
posting, like sharing it.
Yeah.
Like It almost makes you feel like you like have
You're helping.
ownership over it. Like
Okay.
you're trying to get it funded. 'Cause
Exactly,
You're sharing
yeah.
it on your socials and you're trying to get others to buy in.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, every one of us that's backed an Epic All In is trying to get everybody else
Exactly,
to back
yeah.
an Epic All In,
I need
because
a
then
spectral
it gets us more rewards. Absolutely.
Yeah, you get the extra rewards, and then you get that good warm feeling in your heart of like introducing something that's gonna make someone feel great. It's like they've laid down this substantial amount of money, and they get all this value that's packed into it. And then some people that might not have collected or known about the line, and they're jumping in now, and they're like, oh man, I got all these figures to look forward to, and they've already got like 3 figures or 3 waves already out, and so I can kind of pick those up in the meantime. And then wave 4 is going to be arriving during the summer, so they've got stuff to look forward to before they get their reptiles and brawlers, and they just think, man, all this started. I've backed this Kickstarter, and now I've got like this whole new IP that I'm excited about, and I got to tell my friends about. And one of the things that we've been saying while we've been doing this little press tour is we're trying to build the brand awareness, and it's a really fun, exciting brand that we think is going to re-energize the toy community. So that's what we want to do.
And I don't want to call this too early, but I honestly think, Jason, like, you will potentially have the success of the 4 Horsemen. I think the quality is there.
I would just love that. Thank you.
You as a person too are your personality I love. I feel like I vibe with really well. Like, I'm a weird person, and so to find other weirdos is good.
That's what's great about the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I just feel like you're like such embedded in like pop culture and nerd culture. Like, I even love that like tabletop game that you guys came out with the first like a long time ago.
Man, I thought that was such a fun idea.
So good, because I like love like D&D, like Hasbro's Heroescape, Hero Clicks, any of those things, and like to have like a tie-in with the figures was so sick.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, I can use my figure as a game piece. That's fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was so good.
So great. So
but
we'll kind of wrap it up here. Thank you everyone for tuning in with this special here. We had Jason and Adam from over at Spiro Toys. We're talking the Animal Warriors Kingdom. First thing, read the comic book
and back the all in.
Yes,
those are the 2 things.
Both of them.
Yeah, do both of those things for us, and you won't regret it. Amazing storytelling. Even within that first issue, you're getting a lot of information. These figures are amazing. They have the quality. They have the value there. I mean, I don't know what else we could say about this. Back the all in. Epic all in.
Back it, baby. You won't regret it.
Yeah. All right. Well, as always, friends, keep playing, keep collecting, and may the action figure gods smile upon you. Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you so much. We can curse now, right?